Guys, it's Kathy. Welcome to Saturday. I hope you're doing great. What do you think of this? I hope that doesn't sound bad when I touch it. I got it because I felt like I needed a pop screen, and I also wanted it's not a pop screen, but I think it will keep things a little bit more listenable. And I didn't want a pop screen because I think they get in the way. I have one, it just doesn't, I don't like it. I move around a lot when I'm doing this. So, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about things. I'm feeling very heavy right now, and it's because I've sort of come across the huge conundrum. I'm just going to check and see if you guys can hear me and see me. I've come across the conundrum of what do you do when you're not passing moral judgment on anybody, but you're not a fan of how an artist lived or some of the things that they did. And I'm not talking about illegal things or completely immoral things. I'm talking about just like in general, like not for me type of stuff. And I kind of ran into it a little bit with Mary Shelley to a much, much lesser degree, but it wasn't like this for me. That was like just scratch the surface kind of thing. Where, she lived her life in a certain way, and that's fine, but I don't know that I want to discuss it. You know what I mean? I don't know that it's something that I'm interested in profiling her, like that type of stuff on my channel. It sort of wrote a line for me because I was like, okay. But I also like to keep it exciting, which means not, I realized early on that I can't not look at or read some of these bios before I go into this, because I have to like vet them first, to make sure. And I'm glad I did, because I looked, last night I was looking at Gustav Klimt and Egon Schiele, and I realized like I definitely bit off more than I could chew in terms of, for Gustav Klimt, for the bio, because I don't really want to talk about or profile a lot of what I'm seeing, like a lot of how he lived his life in terms of his models and stuff. It was kind of like kind of gives me the ick a little bit, and I just don't want to talk about it. Like I don't want it to be like a conversation that I'm having, because I'm just not into it. I'm just not into talking about it. So it's kind of like a fine line, like where do you draw the line? You know what I mean? Then there's Egon Schiele, who's a different situation because it's compounded. There's problematic, like straight up problematic parts of his biography that I was uncomfortable with bringing onto my channel. But then also you can't divorce the overview of his work is erotic art, and I don't want that on my channel either. So I thought, well, maybe I could do his landscapes or something, but I don't want to bring you like half a story, you know what I mean? So that doesn't seem honest or like true to what I want to do either. So I mean, the the most honest thing to do is just to not do Egon Schiele. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can hear me and you. Yep, I can. So, hey, Megan. I'm talking about not talking about certain artists because I love Gustav Klimt's work. He's a genius. Today we're gonna draw Gustav Klimt's art, but we're gonna or me, I'm gonna, and maybe you'll watch, maybe you'll join in, maybe you won't. Gonna do Gustav Klimt, but I think I'm gonna do, his work was very like patterny. So I'm gonna do like a abstract kind of decorative, and I'm not gonna do his figurative work. I'm not gonna do any people, but I will do, just plug in my phone in. I will do his artwork, his pattern stuff, because I think that's like the best kind of happy medium for me right now, because I was really researching for a long time on him, and I was thinking about it for a long time, and I was gonna do him, but I was thinking how am I gonna sort of navigate the minefield? And cheers. And him and Egon Schiele were very, very close. Egon was he was a mentor to Egon, and so it was kind of cool to have them back to back, because I thought, this is really good. Like, this will be this will be like a good 1-2 punch type of thing. And it was a punch. It was a punch in the face for me, or a punch in the gut. And I just was like, I can't do Egon Schiele. I can't do Egon Schiele. Period. End of story. I'm also breaking with tradition, and I'm going with my what is this paper? I'm using this heavyweight mixed media black paper today. It's called Clairefontaine. Paint on black mixed media. It's fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous paper. I love this paper. And I've been very much craving to do something on a thicker paper and something in mixed media. And I kind of painted myself into a corner a little bit with continuing on with the pen and ink sketchbook, which is going well, except I need and I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing too. Like, I'm enjoying the work I'm doing in it, but I'm just finding it to be limiting, and limiting in a way that I'm just like borderline bored with, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm borderline getting bored with it. So I am just gonna go, okay, this is really not this is like mostly water in it. I'm gonna go right into my gold FW Daleroni. So please do feel free to I mean, I hope that at least them being on my list has maybe piqued interest, because it's these people that maybe it's good to learn about different people, and it's good to see, you know, how different people lived and stuff. It really is. I might not be comfortable with documenting it on my channel, but it doesn't mean I don't love Klimt's artwork or appreciate Shields, which I do both, but Shield I kind of forgot. I forgot. Okay. I'm entitled to have not a great memory for some things, and I did not have a great memory for Shield's work because his work is extremely... I mean, I was saying it's kind of corny, if you know what I'm saying, if we replace the C with something else. But I don't want to discount. He was incredibly amazing at his craft. His work is absolutely stunning. Whether whether it's your aesthetic or not, it was new and it was different, and it's extremely compelling, and it's mesmerizing. I will definitely say all those things. And mean them, and I appreciate his work, but it doesn't mean like, I don't need to be, I don't want to be having it on my channel, showing that work. You can actually see it on Wikipedia, because the thing is you can't, it's really funny because you can't not... there's like no way to not document his erotica style work when you're talking about, or just like also just, yeah, I guess that's the way to say it. You can't do it without, you just can't. And also he had some, and I'm not going to go into it. If you read his Wikipedia, or there's other things you can read on the web, they're out there, but it's a lot. Anyway, it made me kind of sad. It kind of triggered me a little bit. So yeah, so it kind of left me in a tough spot. So today I'm very glad I have music because, I'm glad I have music because we're not discussing an artist. I will talk a little bit about Klimt. His partner of his life, Emily, was a bespoke designer of dresses, and she had a huge business. She had a huge business, a huge dressmaking business with her sister for a long time. And then Third Reich and war happened, and she had to pivot, and she had to downsize. And some people look at her work and think that he designed a lot of the stuff. I think he might have. Because they were just in the same circle, I think. But if you look at pictures of her and her dresses and stuff, she inspired him. 100%. I mean, look at those clothes. And then, and when I say bespoke, it means like all custom. So I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that she, and I think she did, because they literally did like full on custom, that she created her own fabric and stuff too. So if you look at her Emily Blau, something like that. Anyway, you can find it really easily on the web, or I may have put a link in the profile. I'm not sure. Beautiful, beautiful work. And if you look at her pictures, she totally inspired him, like major. They're kind of like a match made in heaven creatively, really, because he's a genius, she's a genius. And her work inspired his work, and I'm sure his work inspired her work too. So kind of amazing. And they never got married. And I will tell you, just to, for full disclosure, because I'm sitting here like Oliver Klimt and talking about this. And yeah, that he fathered, like, they basically had an open relationship, and they never got married. He never married. She never married. They were just partners forever. He left half of his fortune to her. He was apparently extremely wealthy from his artwork when he was alive, because he took care of, he paid support for his children. This is like hard for me to talk about, actually. I'm sniffling. Jeez, I think I might have to turn my camera off today. Or like get myself together. One or the other. Excuse me. I just had to blow my nose. Blow my nose. Anyway, so his lifestyle kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Like this sort of collateral damage. That's really, I guess, all I can say about that is, and that's why I didn't want to do him, because I can't really talk about it without crying. Now, I feel like I'm having this sort of reaction, which is good, because it's kind of like showing, excuse me, as my throat goes, it's kind of like showing me my limits in a way of like what I'm willing to discuss in public, like what I am willing to talk about with these artists and what I'm not, you know what I mean? So, because it's a question, it's like this, it's like a question for the ages, right? Like, about where do you draw the line with art that you love, and with, where do you draw the line with these artists and everybody, like musicians, like look at Michael Jackson, look at lots of artists, people, and just people getting canceled. And like, this is like a question that's, this is just a question that is always going to be at the forefront with this kind of work. I mean, with artwork or with anything that you see that you love, you know, because can you separate the art from the artist? And I think clearly you can in some ways, but like in terms of, you can't fully, right? You can't fully. Like, we can't forget George Washington had so many slaves. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, it's all ridiculous, but it was like, that's an example of somebody who, okay, our first president, guess what? You know? Guess what? Our first president was like in the slave business, okay? Yeah, that's right. So, you know, it's hard when you think about it, and it's like a age-old thing. It's like something that is not, there's nowhere to go with a conversation in a way, because in some ways I feel like, I mean, people are not willing to, and you know, should people be canceled? And like, where do you draw the line? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I'm not even, I have nothing to like, we can only do what we can do as an individual. And I mean, you know, so I was just discussing what I can do, which is just not platform artists lives that have things that I didn't agree with, and I can still love their art, but you know, I feel like, you know, this guy had a lot of for me, collateral damage, so and it just like makes me sad. So I'm just gonna move my iPad. Excuse me, I'm like crying on camera and stuff, but whatever. Whatever. Who cares? Right? Who cares? This is one of those great things about live streaming every day. You just lose your filter. And it's okay. It's alright. It's fine. See? I don't really care. Certainly not embarrassed that it makes me emotional. But, you know, it's not like necessarily something I want to, you know, not do a good job on my stream while I'm discussing this. But, you know, it kind of had to be done because, discussing this because, because I did put them on the list, and I will say them, but today I mean Gustav. I did put him on the list, and I decided to change my mind. And it's just a good example. I'm glad to practice what I preach, right? I'm glad to practice. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourself, and don't, make your decisions, and don't feel like you have to do something if you're uncomfortable doing it. So, yeah, so that's that. I really love his artwork. Excuse me. I was actually kind of hoping that I keep calling it a pop screen, and that's not what it is. That my fuzzy, I was kind of hoping that my fuzzy here, my fuzzy pal, this pink fuzzy pal, would help me to, when sometimes my voice might get louder and a little bit like crumbly with sounding kind of like too close to the mic type of thing. So I hope it helps with that. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. I wrote something yesterday, and it was just me sort of working out my thoughts on these things. So I will read it to you, because it's a lot more. I do better with reading than just talking, than just sort of talking through, I think. Talking through is okay. I'm not saying that's not. I'm just saying, maybe reading is good. I am learning in public. I am learning as I go what type of content I want to share and what I don't. And as I choose people's lives to cover in my art streams, there are things I may discover about their lives and or things they did in their lives that I'm not comfortable about covering, or they may have art that I don't feel comfortable sharing on my platform, and even sometimes maybe with being associated with at all. Sometimes I am learning live and in public how to navigate some of the content I'm sharing here. I started daily live streaming in late July 2025. I'm going to move to a teeny tiny brush, I think. I'll zoom you, because let's do that. It may be more fun to watch that way. I just got to check and make sure my camera didn't switch out to vertical. It didn't, so that's good. All right. I'm almost done with my talk here. I started daily live streaming in late July 2025. I started covering biographies of creative people on October 1. I'm literally figuring things out as I go, but in public. So please bear with me when I hit some little bumps like this. It's funny because when stuff like this happens, I'm never happier that I have than when I do, because I have a teeny tiny viewership, right? So thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for understanding. And again, with some of these people that I may choose not to cover after putting them on my list. With Egon, okay. I mean, not Egon. With Klimt, people can live how they want to live, you know? That's fine. I don't need to platform it. You know what I mean? And at first, what I thought was just like eccentricity turned into like problematic sort of behavior that was completely because he paid for his kids. You know, people didn't care back then. You know, people did not judge him for it, you know, or he didn't face any repercussions, which fine, he was paying for them. So, okay. And I think he paid well for them, you know, like he took care of like the mothers and the children. I mean, the weird thing is, okay, all right, I will go into it a little tiny bit. He got with his models, okay? And it wasn't like it just happened once. He got with his models all the time. So when I'm thinking about him, I'm thinking about like this kind of behavior. It's sort of, for me, it's hard to, when it's repeated and it's, when it's like repeated behavior like this, that is, that's to a point where it's like, there's like no, he didn't see anything wrong with it, apparently. And I pride myself on not being a judgy person, but I think I'm not a fan of that behavior at all. You know what I'm saying? It bothers me. It makes me sad for the children who, I think it's one of those things like you have to sort of explore some more about his relationship or non-relationship with his children. I think what really got me, you guys, what really got me, okay? Because I can be detached and just be like, live and let live. And I usually am, you know, unless it's like criminal or immoral or both, right? Usually just like, okay, you do your thing, but do it over there kind of thing. I read a letter that he wrote to one of his children when the kid turned 1. And it just really broke my heart. So, it told me what I needed to know or what I was curious about in terms of his relationship with his children, which is he's kind of like the benefactor in a way. Really like benefactor. Right? I should Google benefactor. He, you know, he financially supported and he got to play, you know, benefactor. And it was like, it's just kind of like it's not pleasant for me to read it. It's like, I mean, it's a kind and sweet letter, but it sounds like this person that they never see. And then I read a little bit about one of his sons. And that kind of broke my heart, because it's like he collected his dad's work. And let's pick some colors out here. He collected his father's work, you know, maybe to get closer to him because he didn't have a relationship with him, which just, I mean, that's just heartbreaking. And it's a lot, you know? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it was like kind of painful to read. I'm using, this is like a teeny little speckle of a gold, metallic gold Neocolor 2. So I'm just gonna use it and see what happens here. See on this gold paper. Like it. So just exploring different patterns and materials on this heavyweight mixed media paper, and some of the patterns that he made popular in his life. Like these circles, and then he had these little swirls. These Neocolor 2 metallics can be a little crumbly, but it's cool. I just work with it, you know? Just work with it. I'm putting a little me into this and adding some little spacey looking circles. I like the texture of this stuff on paper. On this paper particularly, I mean. So, thanks for watching today. I know this has like been kind of a bit of a little bit emotional for me today, but I gotta be truthful with you guys, you know, and I have to like you know, be honest about this stuff and about like my journey here and like how this is going for me. Like, it's great to entertain in this way and I enjoy it a lot, but then like what happens when you're faced with these kinds of things, you know? What happens when give me one sec. You know, it's interesting, right? What happens when you're faced with unexpectedly, you're like, oh, whoops, you know? I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can profile that person, because they are definitely have some stuff going on that I'm just not real comfortable with. I mean, I guess I'm comfortable enough with it to talk to you guys about it in this way, you know, not like actually doing the profile and doing the whole Wikipedia deal, you know, reading Wikipedia like I do usually. And yeah, so that's the deal. So I think for the future, I think I'm going to have to go through my list. And I think also, this has been a lesson, because it's like, don't overcomplicate things for myself, right? Don't make things so hard. I mean, because this has been very much research. It's been going into, I know it seems like I'm flying by the seat of my pants, usually, right? Probably. Because that's just like, you know, kind of loosey-goosey here, but I have been doing research. Like, I research for these guys. I, get links, and I'm looking into them before I come on here. And it's a lot. It's like, it's been more and more, I will say. I've been doing it more and more, and it's like, oh, this is like a lot of work. This is like a lot of work. When do we just want to draw? Is that what we're doing? Do we just want to draw? Do we not want to talk about people? Like what? Because I enjoy the talking about people, but I can go down a rabbit hole with things and then end up, spending a lot of time on the secondary things. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? That is what I mean. This is gouache. It's just very watered down. I'm just making some marks. This is like art therapy today. Because we're just talking. We're having like a therapy sesh, honestly. This is my therapy sesh about covering. And I don't even, I mean, sometimes problematic people, sometimes people that you just, I mean, I'm struggling too because I don't like to be judgy with people, but I also have some things I just can't, like, and some things that are perfectly like live and let live, if you want an open relationship and all that, that's you do you 100%, like I'm not judging that. I think the part that I don't like is like the fact that he routinely got with people that he was working with, his models, like repeatedly over and over and over, had children with them. I mean, I don't know. I guess do your own thing. If everybody's okay with it, right? But I just don't. I'm just like, no, not into that. And then this is like the part that the Mary Shelley sort of touched on when I did Mary Shelley Day, and that was one of the ones that. I mean, to be honest, that was, I think, one of the best ones in a way, because, excuse me, oh my God, that was so gross. I think it was kind of one of the most interesting ones, because what I found was I do kind of like to come on here when I don't, it's kind of fun when I don't know what the bio is going to be, but I can't do that. Like, I can't repeatedly do that myself. Like, that cannot be part of, the plan, because I have to vet people before I do their bio. I have to. Because that's just, it's irresponsible for one thing, if I don't. Because, like, what if I run into an Egon Schiele or, like, stuff like that, or Klimt, and I'm, like, in the middle of reading it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, what did I get myself into? And then I'm in a pickle, and then I'm in, like, this really uncomfortable position, and I'm talking about this person that I would like talking about things I do not want to be talking about. It's one thing, like I was saying this last night to Matt. It's one thing to be like, to have entertaining aspects or like, and I don't want to like, I'm not making light either of people's lives, because I'm an emotional person. Like I'm moved, right? I am moved by like a lot of the things that the Gothic women went through, the Gothic writers, and their lives and stuff. But it is also fascinating to hear about and entertaining in some ways, even though, do we really want to say? But, look at all the different types of content that we have out in the world now. And some of it you're like, really, that's entertaining? Well, it is, because, learning about other people's experiences and hardships and things are, they help us, kind of like, I'll just say, kind of like the stories, like kind of like horror movies or things that you think sound or look or seem awful. Like, they help you process things in your own life. They're kind of therapeutic in a way. They can be, in different ways. And yeah, the Mary Shelley life for me was like, that was sort of a, I mean, there was definitely a couple of bios that I was like, whoa. And then the Mary Shelley one, I was like, I didn't like expect it, like I wasn't, I guess I didn't know, I didn't really know that that's what we were going to get into. And then I was like, oh my goodness. Like, this is some drama, but like sad. You know what I mean? Like, like you want to take the person and like shake them and be like, wake up. You know what I mean? What are you doing with your life, kind of thing? Or you just, you want to sort of, it's kind of icky and you're just kind of like, oh, this is like watching a train wreck, kind of, you know what I mean? And feeling really uncomfortable about it. And that to me is like, there's a line, right? There's a line. That's not fun to do, to see, to... All right, let's look at this composition we got going on here. This is just like very loosely, it's like a loose inspiration. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Loosely inspired. So I'm just trying to mix up here. I have some dried out gouache that I reconstituted and put into an ice cube tray. And I'm just going in and creating like a kind of like an off-white cream color here. And I'm going to do some little painting on here. Shapes. I love the repetitive shapes and all the little like squares. They're fun. The fun little squares. So I guess this is a good little therapeutic day for me. Thanks for coming along. And I appreciate you for, for hanging with me and for listening to all this. Because I'm just processing, just processing my feelings about all this. And there's no definitive answers, It's just like, except, the only definitive answer for me right now for my channel is just to not pick, to like vet everything and make sure that I am on board with the art and the artist and everything before I go on. And that's difficult. That's a lot of work, It is a lot of work, and it's been a lot of work. I've already this month already, there was one artist that I changed out because for that very reason. So, all right, what are we going to do here balancing this? What are we doing? He's got a lot of eyes in here. Should we do some eyes? I fear I picked the wrong brush. But maybe it'll work. Maybe it will work. Let's do some eyes. feel like a liner would have been better here. But look, you can do it with the flat. You can do it if you can just do the side thing. Oh wait, let's make it bigger. Let's just fill it and make it bigger like this. But you know, look, everybody has struggles, right? I'm sure. Well, no, I'm not sure, but because you know, you can never be sure what another person's thinking or anything like that. But I mean, it must have been a struggle for Emily in some ways, I would imagine. Because that would be hard. And yeah, I have to just stop talking about it altogether. I'm talking about how I don't want to talk about it, and then I'm talking about it. So I guess I'm just processing it. I'm just processing it in public with you guys, live and on my stream. How about that? We're processing, but I think I'm going to have to pick somebody altogether different for tomorrow, because even if, okay, I will say that these questions have brought up like, well, how could I navigate, right? If I was ever in a pickle and I was like, okay, if I was in a pickle and say I was gonna, somebody was on the borderline and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna cover them, but I'm gonna cover them this way. Like, I'm just gonna do art like in their style maybe, but something different. I couldn't even do that with Egon Schiele. I mean, look, I'm doing it with Klimt right now, but I couldn't even do that with Egon Schiele. Personally, I mean, I do think he was a genius too, like artistically. His art, some of his art is just like really blows your mind. But you know, the vast majority of what I have seen is stuff that I can't put on my channel. And then he also had some, and I will use the word problematic because it was problematic. He had some problematic aspects to his life, things he did, and yeah. So I think I'm going to use a different brush, because I think this brush is no longer what I want to use. Let's use a little skinny brush. I don't know. Let me know if you think I should delete this video after I'm done doing it. Like take it down, kind of put it on private or something, because I don't know. I just don't know that I even want to have this one up, right? Maybe I'm sensitive about it right now. I don't know. In some ways, I do think it's very therapeutic to just be very, you know, upfront about this stuff. The only reason I would take it down is because I'm bawling my eyes out earlier. Not bawling my eyes out, okay. I was crying. My little eyeballs were a little bit sweaty eyeballs. But maybe I'll just leave it up. Let's see if we can do like one of these deals. A black circle and then a little white one inside. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna scroll you in, or zoom you in rather. How's that? A little better? Is that a little better? think it's probably a little better. I'm going to move my yellow water though. I got some yellow water here that I'm going to use. I keep looking up to see if anybody chat. No chatters today, huh? That's okay. It's okay. That's fine. You do you. How's that? So, did you guys watch Frankenstein yet? I'm gonna watch Frankenstein tonight. I'm looking forward to it very much. And let's do like some more patterns over on this side. Maybe I will move the camera a little bit because I think I want to do like that. Hold on a second. Oh, what happened there? Wait a minute. Hopefully you can still see me. No. Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys, hold on. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, are we back? We're back. I'm getting you. There we go. Sorry guys. Sorry about that. Apologies. Apologies on that. Okay. Let's see here. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, my nose is sniffly. My nose is sniffly. Okay. We're going to use a little bit of black gesso because I'm feeling just totally wild right now. And I like to have a little flat. Let's do a little flat. I'm just cleaning out my water. I'm gonna get some fresh water because my water was all cloudy and I have some black here that I want to flat black gesso. And I want to do a little bit with that. Do a little bit with this. I mean, I could literally be here for hours doing this, which would just not be like prudent because we're just like having fun here and doing this Klimt-inspired piece here. And I'm going to take some of my paint and just put it on my little palette here because So I got to close up my jar. I have this gigantic, not gigantic. It's all relative, right? This is not gigantic. This is not gigantic, right? It's like 16 ounces. I have a 16 ounce. 16 ounce black gesso. Oh, look at my brush. So you know what's fun to do? So you have your flat black paper, and then you have your gold ink, which does this beautiful glowing effect on it, right? And then what's cool is then we are going to go into it. We're going to go into that gold with some little squares like that. And I like how they're a little bit like gradient, kinda. Like, do you see the bottom? How they are not perfectly flat black squares. Cool. I like that. I like it. I like that. And then I'm contending with this. What did I do here? This is not Klimt-ish. Did he do stuff like this? Yeah, I guess he did. I'm looking directly at the painting. Did he do stuff like this? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. For anyone that's just gotten here, I'm doing a abstract piece that's just sort of inspired by Klimt. While I'm talking about, or while I have been talking about, the challenges of finding out artists you like are problematic, basically. And if you would like to hear more about that, you can feel free to watch the beginning of this stream, because I go into detail on that. But I don't want to go into it now because I don't want to cry again. And you don't want to see me cry again. I'm done with that today, for sure. Okay, are we ready to add some color to this? Dare we add some color to this? I think we can add some color, no? Like maybe a little bit of something, a little bit of like this rust color, or perhaps, well, I think something muted would be nice, because I do want to keep it semi color field-ish, similar to what we got going on in this piece that we're looking at. So little squares, maybe like these little, there's these little rust colored squares and like muted red tone, and then there's like this blue, this like really nice muted blue tone, and then he has a little gold, like gold inside, and then a little black dot, which I love that, but I don't know if we're gonna do that or not. I'm gonna do this though. I'm gonna try and get it so you can see the whole paper. Like that. And I'm just gonna go in and like add some of this around, because just gonna start sort of spreading the love, you know? Spreading the color around here a little bit. Just adding some little elements here and there that I like. And these are Neocolor 2s that I'm using, these crayons. So we have gouache, we have gold ink, and then we have Neocolor 2, except for I used a fluorescent yellow Neocolor, and that is a Neocolor 1. It's not, that one is not water soluble. Oops, I broke it. That's okay. It's not a party until a Neocolor 2 breaks. Excuse me, excuse my sniffles. Oh, this is fun. I really like what these Neocolors are bringing to this. Really, really do. I don't think I'm done with the ink yet either, or with the black gesso. I think I might go in a little more on that. Oh, Megan, I didn't even see all your chats. The paint and black paper. I'm just catching up. The paint and black paper is very cool. Crying is the emotional overflow valve. Totally healthy. Thank you. Sorry. I'm going to cry again now. Oh, Megan, thank you. Like, sorry, I can't talk right now. I have to collect myself. I see your chats and I'm reading them now. Yeah, they made me cry, but like happy tears. I use canning jar lids too for my paint. Yeah, you know, it's nice to you can wash them off easy. Oh, thank you, Megan. That's very sweet. You know, it's kind of, I have been using, like, I do look at the AI, the Google AI overview, and it is really helpful, actually. It's very helpful. I'm gonna dump my water out and get some fresh water. This is what I'm doing. You like that? Because I don't have an extra jar. I'm gonna throw this away and get a new one. Get some more water. It really does help. The Google AI overview, and I'm anti AI with art, but the Google AI overview I totally do use. It's helpful. I'm also sensitive and emotional. You're in good. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I think it's just like, I think it's a lot. It's a lot today, I think. I really actually like the Google AI overview because it's like a little, it's almost a little more just succinct, but not, it doesn't sound like a researcher wrote it, okay? I mean, I'm just being honest, like, Wikipedia, and I love Wikipedia. I love you. A lot of times it's a bit dry, you know, and it doesn't make it very readable. But then the alternative is to write my own essays, and like, come on, like, I can't be doing that. You know what I mean? I can't be writing my own essays for every single person. And it's also kind of hard to just sit there and like, you know, highlight the stuff that I'm going to put on and then the stuff that I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I can find something that's succinct, and I also, as much as I love profiling the artists, I also like to do the art, right? Like I want to, and I tend to really go in on the art, as you can see. So it's like, I don't really want to be spending, I mean, an hour is probably kind of excessive, right? To do or even a half an hour might be, like maybe shorten it. And the AI overview on Google is very succinct, and it's good. Like they do manage to get a good amount of detail in there in a short period. But the problem is that it's not always like, you do have to, you never really know with AI, I'm gonna turn my mic off while I blow my nose. Okay, better. Megan says, yes, the Gemini AI tool has been so helpful for me to bypass some things that I need to discover, but I can't invest my emotions into. You just have to be specific about what you're vetting. Yeah, and that's what I need. I need to be better at it. I need to be better at it, I think. I need to improve in that way. I could really improve in a lot of ways, and that's one that is one way I definitely need to, because I go down rabbit holes, and I'm a curious person. I just and if I don't have someone that's like putting the limitations on me, it's like, okay, I have to really put the limits on myself, and it's like not easy all the time to do that, especially when I'm like invested in doing my best and stuff, and I'm the one that's like directing things, you know what I mean? It's different if you're being directed, if you're being working in a team or something, I'm not. So or if you have people who are helping you to direct your energies, or like to help you put the brakes on things, and I don't. So, oops. Oh, let's just use my finger. That's fun. Because then you're just like, okay. So yeah, I'm trying to do that because I don't have all the time in the world, and I have other things I need to do. Right? I have my own work, so it's like it can be a lot. So Megan, you're so sweet. Thank you for your chat and just for being here, and for your comments, and for your super chat. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate you. And yeah, this has been a lot. Today's been a lot. Last night, I should say, has been a lot, because I was researching and I'm like, all this stuff is going through my head, and then I mean, yeah, it just kind of got to me, it all just kind of got to me, and I was like, how am I gonna navigate this? And then I'm thinking, I'm not gonna talk about it, and then I'm like, well, that's not really me, right? I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about how I'm not gonna talk about it, probably, because that's what's happening, because we're not doing this. And I wouldn't feel so triggered if I didn't have like a personal sort of connection too. So that's also in there too. And it's hard. So, we all have things that maybe when you read about somebody and you're you're seeing like some parallels and stuff to some things in your life. So, I think that's really when, that's like when things are like, oh God, that is really hard, like when I hear about the poor kid who collected his dad's artwork. That is like, that gets me. Yeah. And some of the other stuff is just like live and let live. But it's like, hello, collateral damage, Like, hello, just like, that's hard. Yeah. So, that's that. Yeah, Megan says, I'm going to talk about it, same. Because you can't not, It's like, that wouldn't be true to myself, And it sounds like it wouldn't be true to you, You wouldn't be true to yourself. You gotta, I'm still going to process it. I'm going to process in public. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm doing here. When I started this, I didn't really know what it was going to be. I just knew I wanted to do it. And I'm really happy I have started it. And I feel like I'm totally on this journey. And it's one of those things where it's like, you're kind of moving forward on, like blind faith kind of thing. Oh, here come the tears again. Oh, hold on. See? Once you open the faucet, right? Here goes the faucet. Why did I put mascara on today? Hold on. Okay, we're better. All right, I think we're looking pretty good here, actually. We're getting there. We're not done yet. I'm going to do a little bit more over here on this edge here, up here. And we're going to do some... Oh my God. I have a tear on my eyeglass. How come the Beatles didn't write a song about tears on your eyeglasses? Tears on my guitar. No tears on my eyeglass? Or did Taylor Swift write a Tears on My Guitar song? Okay, I think we're going to use a little bit of some yellow. I want to add a little more yellow up here. I'm going to move this down a little bit. And we're going to go a little bit, I just want to I want to, marry. I want to marry these worlds here, I got to marry what's happening here. And I feel like there's a slight disconnect here. Let's do, yeah, isn't that cool? I love that. I love when you do the, I like the resist. I like how the Neocolor 1 is resist because it's a wax crayon. Yeah, thanks, Megan. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, it does help you process. This is totally art therapy, seriously, right? We are just art therapizing today. We totally are art therapizing. I made up that word, therapizing. I like it. I think it's apt, right? Therapizing. I'm just therapizing in public. Uh-oh. Wait, what are we doing here? Do I like this? I'm just going into it, but I don't know that I actually am, I think it feels like a separate. I was trying to combine, I was trying to make things merge, right? I was trying to make things merge together. And what do we have? Yeah, you know, Megan, it's kind of like hard to like, it's like, it's another thing too, because it's kind of like, do I want to go, I don't want to go into detail on my personal, like, whys, you know, like, why is this affecting you like this? You know, I don't want to do that, but, you know, that's like a little bit of a bridge too far. Sure, I'll cry in public. Sure. But am I gonna like go into super deep? Some things need to be protected. You know what I'm saying? Some things you're not ready to, or maybe you'll never be ready. Maybe you never will, and that's fine. And you know, I don't need a public platform to. I don't know. Always need to be doing that. So, some things it's important to keep. You know, to protect your own, that stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of like, you know. So along those lines, after this whole like kind of watershed moment in a way, and like facing all these facing when there's artists that you're not, you know, wanting to profile them because you're not like on board with putting them on your platform. There will be more artists that I don't cover. There will be. I may have removed names already. I don't remember if I did or not, but there's gonna be, and you know, there's some that I probably haven't even figured out yet that I'm gonna need to do, that I'm gonna need to remove. So that's okay. And that's, I mean, I'm really glad that I had, because I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, you know, rules, stay true to myself, you know, lead with curiosity, stay true to myself, you know, and, yeah. And I can't really not be honest, you know, that's just, I can't, and I feel like if I'm not sharing some of these things that I discover, like that's not really, I can't not do it because I can't keep my mouth shut. Basically, like that is just what's happening. Cannot keep my mouth shut. So, and that's a good thing. Like let us I think anyway, let us embrace the not keeping the mouth shutness of it all, shall we? But this is definitely a first, I have to say. So there will be others. I'm kind of thinking for the 30th, I had Aubrey Beardsley, who I greatly admire his technical abilities and his. The verdict's still out on this. The verdict is still out on Aubrey Beardsley. I'm not sure. I feel like it's a little impossible. Well, I don't really know that it's impossible. I'm not sure if it's impossible or not to profile Aubrey Beardsley without also. I mean, I can tell you he did a ton of erotic work, but I'm not showing any of it if I do him. And I don't know that I can really, I don't know that I want to, like, let's just avoid this corner of this person's life. Like, maybe just don't profile the person, you know? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe just don't profile the person, because I don't want to sugarcoat things, you know? Okay, now I'm just adding space. We're just adding space now, because when I'm dabbing, when I'm doing the little dabs, this is like, oh, let's add shadows. Let's add shadows, and we're gonna like, excuse my sniffles. So now we're just gonna add some depth, right? Because this is gonna add some depth. And then it's gonna feel very spacey because we have the light on top. Oh yeah, I am digging this. I am digging it. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, I feel. Yeah, I do like this. And I love Aubrey Beardsley, but I have complicated feelings about that too. So, and it's not like a matter of like I'm anti people doing erotic artwork. I'm not. It's all in like your own experience with things, and like, you know, that's really all it is. And whether or not it makes sense for me to do that, you know, for my own reasons. So, like, I love a lot of his work, and it's all, the line is absolutely stunning. I love his Japanese influence. There's so much that he fascinates me, but I just don't know if I'm gonna move forward with that one. I think that's gonna be like a put a pin in it, and we'll see, because I think that you can have the conversation and just touch on, he also did this, without it being like, and this is mostly what he did. Like, Egon Schiele, you just can't. It's not, and then there's not, it's not only that. There is legitimately problematic portions of his story, specifically, and I'm not even, like, parts of your, it's one thing to have it like happen to you, it's another thing to have had the artist made it happen. Do you know what I mean? It's one thing for somebody to have a hard upbringing or whatever, or have things happen that were problematic to them, and then they, you know, overcame or whatever. That's one thing. That's different. It's another thing to be a, you know, the creator of your own you know what I'm saying? It's another thing to be the creator of your own chaos, you know? Or the creator of your own problematicness, in a way. And even then, it's like, it's sad. But then, when it's hurting other people, that's when it's just like, that's devastating. You know? That's when it's like devastating. That's when you're like, that's when you start to be like, no, like, that's not right. You know, it's one thing to get over things. Let's see what Megan said. Megan says, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't make it any less valid that they were flawed and imperfect people. I think whatever depth or lack of platform you give the artist is valid and understood. Thank you. Thank you so much for understanding. And I love your commentary because you are helping me to process this too. And you're giving me some insight into, you know, how you're hearing what I'm saying. Because I'm just talking. I'm just in here talking by myself and crying by myself, talking and crying to you guys, to whoever's listening out there. So thank you. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it a lot. And on that note, I'm gonna wipe my mascara streaked eyes. I'm gonna blow my nose. Hold on. I think I cried all my mascara off today. How fun. That's a first. That's a first. Okay, so when I finish this piece, I am totally gonna give you guys the close-up, okay? I promise. So, thank you for being here. Megan, thank you for chatting with me about this today. I really appreciate it. You're here for me today. This is a wacky day. I'm excited to watch Frankenstein tonight. Oh, okay. Now. Let's do, okay, I'm trying to wrap it. I'm trying to wrap this up. I like this. I think I want to add a couple more dabs of gold, just where I did some, couple dabs of gold where I did the black gesso, because that is going to, I'm just rinsing out my brushes a little bit, because that is gonna it's going to pop ever so much more over the black gesso. Black matte gesso, guys. Just say yes to matte black gesso. And where do I even want to put? Let's be strategic. And be strategic about where we're going to put. Oh, I wanted to show you. I got a new pen. Where'd I put it? I haven't opened it yet. It's still in the package. I got a new one of these for tomorrow. I got a new one, so I can, let's use a brush. I got a new one, so we do not have to suffer through the, oh my God. I gotta hold this up. I can't see it. Excuse me. Excuse my sniffles. Okay, we're just going to do little dots on the eyes here. Get it? Dots on the eyes, not dots on the eyes. Dots on the eyeballs. Dots on the eyes. Not dots on like the letter I. Because usually I do letters, but I'm not doing letters today. Isn't that funny? I think that's kind of wild. Where's the letters today? We got none. We don't got no letters today. We're not doing no letters today. No lettering today. Can I say that more? How many more times am I going to say no lettering today? So see where this is like this murky, where I took the paper towel and like smudged it. You could do that with a sponge if you wanted to get like a gradient, more gradient. And now I'm just going to do some like little gold dots, like fresh fresh gold, and then it's going to feel real spacey right here, because then it feels like atmosphere, you know? It's really cool. Not to keep talking about this, and I don't want to cry anymore, but I do think that there's also this has kind of been building in me, and I haven't talked about it, in terms of just like navigating the problematic stuff. It's been like, it's just come up over and over, and with these particular artists, it just kind of hit me because they're kind of important. My mother loved them both, and so kind of a lot. My mother's deceased, by the way, but that was one thing. And we did have some Klimt art in our house. This is like back in the ye olde days. So, you know, there is some, yeah. That's about all I need to say, right? It's probably like that's like enough. You know, when you have like a personal connection, and then you're like, oh my gosh. Okay, I like that. That is doing it for me. The whole like the very detailed part, because there's some real loose, smudgy stuff going on here. And then when you throw in like a real high little detail stuff on top, it just really, and especially on top of some matte black, you use some like gold detail, it just really does. Doesn't it bring it together? It just really brings it together. Art, you guys, art. Art, make art. It's so fun. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, you think so? I think so too. I think it's kind of like, I think the devil's in the details, you know? It's like you just go, and then sooner or later, usually later, things do come together. I feel like a lot of the time people give up too soon on their art. And I don't mean in general so much, even as like a piece of art. Like people are like, oh, it's not working. It's like, well, did you give it a chance to breathe? You know, did you continue to work it? Did you continue to answer the call? You know, because it's all a conversation anyway, right? You're having a conversation, that like a nonverbal conversation with your piece, and it's sort of talking to you. And if your head is like stuck in the wrong place, which is how does it look all the time, then that's not answering the call, right? Because it's trying to tell you what it needs. And if you're stuck in always in like how this looks land, like how does it look, but does it look this way, and not asking yourself about like bigger questions that maybe you're not going to see the immediate answer to right away. Like you're not going to see balance and composition and space and all these things right away. You know what I mean? You're going to see, you can't, because those things take time to develop and take time to put down on the paper and take time to build, you know, and the texture and the layers and all these things, you know, they take time to, you need to work it, you know, and lots of times people give up because they're just looking for, and I get it, you know, we all want our art to look great, right? We all want Let me do, okay, I'm looking at my camera. I'm trying to make sure I get you guys on. I'm trying to make sure that I don't overshoot it or undershoot it. I'm just going to stay here for 20 seconds because that is the length of time I think that... Okay, let's do this. How's that? Is that better? You know, these things take time to unveil and like to develop, and you got to have that conversation with your art, you know, and build layers, or, you know, listen to it, right? Listen to what is it trying to tell you? All these things is like, that is the conversation. You gotta listen to it. And then you'll turn around, and this is like why it's like, oh, this is just boring for like 45 minutes, and then all of a sudden, in the last 10 minutes, oh, things came together, you know? Things come together. The last few minutes, things come together, and then you're like, I see what's happening here. You know? It's fun. It's fun. It just takes, it's kind of a muscle you have to, it's like a muscle you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Exercise. The muscle you got to exercise is that muscle of ignoring, like moving through it, and I mean, am I going to be like a total cliche and just say trust the process? Like everybody says that, but I recently saw just on Facebook the other day, somebody did a I want to say reel. Was it a reel? It was the whatever Facebook is. Reel, Facebook reel, short, whatever. And they said, everybody says trust the process, but unless you know what the process, unless you know how your stuff reacts, you can't do that, because you got to know how your materials react on, you know, paper. And then she did some examples, like she was doing some watercolor, and she was watercoloring, and she was like, this is why this, you know, is working. You got to know that this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and just, you know, the sort of the more technical things about like how her paper reacts to the materials on top of it and stuff. And she's right. She was right, you know. I totally understand that completely, because like, unless you know that, you know, this is waterproof, this is not, you can paint on top of this, you can't paint on top of this with that, you know, or this is going to happen. Like, these are the things. And I liked that reel a lot, and I thought it had a lot of value for a lot of people, and she was 100% accurate, you know. Like, I totally was happy with that, what she said, because she was so right. She's like, if you don't know that this is going to be, you know, absorbent or not, or whatever point she was making, but she did it again and again throughout her piece, and it was very, very great. I mean, it actually, one thing that I really like about it too is that is all true, and I knew all that too. Like, you know, you're watching it and you're like, she's right, but I'm like, she's able to really well like explain this concept. And it's like, these are like what make a good teacher is, you know, can you explain a concept that is maybe so granular that people wouldn't explain it, wouldn't think to explain it, or, you know, is maybe and that's what I meant, actually. There is no or on that. That is just so, can you explain a concept that is so, that is something that maybe somebody else wouldn't even think to explain, or that is so like in your head that it's hard to explain, but to put it into words, and not only put it into words, but to put it into words that that are easily absorbed by somebody, right? And are easily absorbed and easily assimilated by someone to actually use in their own work, you know? So, like, props to that. All right, it's noon, and I'm just going to do a couple more of these. Is that my famous last words again? A couple, just a little bit more. I'm going to do the sun a little bit. Just going to work on the sun a tiny bit, and then we're going to be done. And then I'm going to say thank you for coming. And I want to say have a fabulous day. And I really hope that you do something today that you really enjoy and that is creative, and that you get something of high value out of. This is very what am I doing here? Uh-oh. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab a little tiny piece of paper, and we're going to dab. All right, we're done. Let's do it. Let's look at what we got here. I will give you the close-up. I'm going to give you a close-up too. Here it is. That's good. And then I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to take my glasses off because just for a second so I can see what I'm doing here. And now we're going to do like this, like that. And then we'll go like, there we go. We'll do like that. Oh, there we go. I want to give you guys the most real estate you can have without my pictures and stuff in the corner and the side over there. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Megan, you are amazing. Thank you for hanging out with me and chatting with me and like talking with me. And I hope that you have an awesome, awesome day. And I'll be back tomorrow. And I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. I can tell you right now, number one, we're not doing Egon Schiele. And number two, we're not doing art inspired by Egon Schiele. Today we did art inspired by Klimt, Gustav Klimt. And tomorrow is going to be... Oh, thanks, Megan. Oh my gosh. I appreciate you so much. Seriously. Okay. I'm going to get for Klimt again. Thank you. Thank you. See, my eyes are watering already. Yeah. So I will see you tomorrow and have an awesome day. I'm going to put this, picture. I might put this on my post tab. And, yeah, if you want to see it. like staying still in a photo. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.